Welcome to TimeBolt Office Hours on January 11, 2024. You are live once again with Doug and Quinston. We're here to answer your questions, check your workflows, and generally just make sure that you get the best out of TimeBolt. Quinston, today I think we'll have a couple customers coming on with some questions about sponsorships and some other ideas that they had. Let's go ahead and start, Quinston, by showing off the Umcheck credit system. I know a lot of people are going to be happy with that.
The way the TimeBolt Umcheck transcription system used to work is that it was for each file, you transcribe the file individually, and that's it. There was no system where you can load up credits and use them as a subtraction, like based on the minutes of the file. But what we've done is we have added a credit system, which we're calling transcription minutes. The way it works is supposed to be backwards compatible. The reason is that because we wanted this new system to coexist, that you as the customer have the choice of either you want to pay for the file directly or you want to load up credits and use it that way. I'm just going to, for demonstration's sake, show what it used to look. Once you have the file loaded up, it used to be like this. It will just show up as complete the payment. For the new version, we've added this disclaimer at the top. It says, this is my account. You have 63 transcription minutes added to your account, which are not enough to transcribe this file. You can either pay for the transcription below or add transcription minutes to your account. TLDR, get transcription minutes from within TimeBolt to avoid paying for each file. If TimeBolt detects that the transcription minutes in your account are not enough to transcribe the file that you have loaded in TimeBolt, for example, let's say you have an 8-minute file, but your transcription minutes in your account are only 5, there's a difference, there's a discrepancy. The transcription minutes are not enough. It will give you a choice to complete the payment a la carte, or you can go back into TimeBolt transcriptions, minutes, purchase them, and then load up the file again. And the way you do this is very simple. You go to Umcheck again, and you press this button over here which says Purchase Transcription Minutes. Now, when you click on this, it's going to open up a new page where you can see how many transcription minutes you want to purchase, and it also shows you how many transcription minutes are in your account at the moment. You don't have to have any ambiguity on how many minutes there are. You can even check how long the file is, and then it's pretty simple from there. You can load up as many minutes as you want. I can even type in maybe 30 minutes, and then it's based on, if you get 30, it's minutes multiplied by 0.05, which is 5 cents, which is the cost of each minute. And yeah, you can add 30, you can add 200, you can add how many ever you feel like adding. The minimum threshold is, again, 50 cents. If you add 10, that will be 50 cents. You cannot go below 50 cents. 10 is the minimum. Once you do this, the interesting part is you don't have to wait at the payment page anymore. If you have transcription minutes in your account, there is no waiting for the payments page. Once I start audio transcription, it's just going to go through. It's going to say proceed to your internet browser, which you don't have to touch anything. It just happens automatically, and it's done. Now the transcription is started. And if I go back and check how many transcription minutes I actually have, it will say 61, because that file is 2 minutes long. So it's that simple. So you don't have to wait at the payments page anymore. You can just load up the credits, and that's done. I didn't have to pay anything. My transcription is finished. That's the transcription credit system. Also, just to note, we have made the conscious choice of keeping both these ways alive, because we feel like some customers might prefer one way over the other. If somebody has a really long file, they have like maybe over 10 minutes, 20-minute file, they just want to pay by file, that's fine. They can do that. And if somebody wants to do credits and doesn't want to wait at the payment page, they can do that too. We are trying to support as many ways of accessing this technology as we can.
That's fantastic. And what happens? Do we still also offer the three free?
Yes, we do. Yes.
Now, that's the only thing that's not dealing with credits. That's like, okay, whatever your video
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. The only thing is we've added the credit systems. Everything else remains the same.
Okay, perfect. And obviously the big advantage of that, you're not going through the payment system. You're not having to re-enter some special key that comes in on your cell phone, like for Stripe. It's just automatic.
What Doug's talking about, the free tier, is that when you get a new TimeBolt account, you can use Umcheck for free 3 times for any length of file.
Excellent. But I found it to work extremely effective. If you could go ahead and put credits back under my name, all my credits were wiped out. We started a new system. It's funny. But I'm really looking forward. There's quite a few people that use Umcheck, and it's a highly effective tool. So awesome work with that. I'll let everybody know. I'll create an email blast today and let everybody know that that's available. Here, I wanted to show you something, okay? I want you to just tell me straight up, okay? Am I crazy? Am I not crazy? Funny? Is it like eye-catching? I did, like, you have to understand, this is all low resolution. I wanted to prove to myself that I could use the setup I have in my house to be able to execute the vision that I'm hoping to do. And I literally have a production crew coming in on Monday. Okay. Like MEM Productions. To save money, I was like, look, I don't need any of your equipment. I just need you to come to my apartment and watch as I help me shoot this thing. Right? Like, is the lighting right? Is the distance between the camera and all this stuff right? So just to pull up this one effect. So this is, again, this is very low. This is low fidelity shit. Okay. You know what I'm saying? This is just.
Video is a race, and time is your greatest adversary. The gap between boring and watchable isn't so much what you design in, it's what you subtract. It's what you subtract.
I love it. The only thing is you need to adjust the camera angles above.
Like, dude,
watchable. It's what you design in.
Like that's gonna have to all be gone.
I think it's
what you
perfect. I
subtract.
think you can like, yeah, it can definitely work. I think it can definitely work.
And like this right here, I'm trying to figure out, do I want to keep it as much native as possible, right? Like I want to have the actual, like this background right here. I want it to be like the presentation, because then I've got,
This angle is perfect. So this,
but this is the
frame
problem.
is
Look,
perfect.
but this
If
is the
you go
problem.
back and forth.
This right here though, like I need my legs coming down. Like I need you to see my legs. Like I need to walk out of my motherfucking TV. Just matter of the angle of the, cause see like right here, this one was high up, right? This one was high up. And I like that if I could actually be that way, but there's no way, like in order for me to do, there's a difference between that height and that height. But on this height, I was actually able to capture, you need to be able to capture like your bottom part of your body. There's ways to do this when you're editing video. I think I've learned for some YouTubers, where now what I need to do is take each scene, put it into an Excel spreadsheet, and then literally go through and say, this is what's going to be on the background. This is what my hero shot's going to be. Like every single sentence. And this is exactly what I want this shot to be. And you end up putting up all this effort in the very front, but then once you shoot it, like 50% of the work is done. That's kind of, that's the advantage of linear.
Yeah, you plan for it.
A linear type editing, right? And getting it all. I won't get this all in one take, but like the bulk of this content, but I'll still edit it all in TimeBolt. You were saying something about when it comes to screen recording, you were saying something about the green section if we don't have audio.
What if we could just add a fake track which has nothing, no audio on it? If none is selected, it will have a fake track, a fake audio track. It's not a real track. It's a fake mono audio track just attached. It doesn't really exist.
I always thought it was just like kind of like a lost cause because it didn't have audio. But I swear, man, like you capture a screen, and just because it doesn't have audio doesn't mean that you don't want to cut it up and turn it into a GIF. And
exactly. That's my exact point.
That's amazing.
I think that is important. We have to have it load up in TimeBolt, because if it's coming out of Capture, it has to load up in TimeBolt. It just doesn't make any sense that it doesn't. I'm thinking what I'll do is I'll add a fake track to it. It's a fake track, as in it's completely silent. There's no audio on it, but it's just there to load up in TimeBolt, and then everything will be green.
You don't have to take your screenshot, your screen capture, and open it up in Final Cut Pro, start a 300 gig file.
Exactly.
Screw up
That's my whole point.
The limited space on your Mac for a 10 megabit file that you want, right? It doesn't need to turn into a gig project.
What happens with these projects, right? What happens is when you load up it in Premiere Pro and you want to turn it into a GIF, Premiere Pro gives you like a 100 MB GIF.
Oh my God, which you can't do anything with. You can't put it anywhere. 5 megabits is the limit on Kajabi and in Kajabi emails.
Yeah.
5 megabits. Right.
It has to be like compressed. It has to be compressed and small and usable.
This is what the typical workflow would work. After you capture the screen recording with QuickTime, because you couldn't do it in TimeBolt before because it didn't have the green if you weren't using audio. You would then cut it up in Final Cut Pro. It would end up, you'd have 150 megabit size file. So then you'd have to go to an online editor. And if it wasn't too long, okay, you have to upload it and then convert the MOV to an MP4, because the place that makes the GIFs only allows up to 100 megabit upload, right? You would have to convert it. You wouldn't even have to convert it in here. But if you wanted to, if you want to convert an MOV to MP4, you can also do that in TimeBolt. Then you upload it and you create your 5 megabit GIF. And that's the same with websites, right? Like if you're on Kajabi, like all that content is made with
we can try it right now, actually.
But what you're saying is now with this low volume, I can go through and hit the S key, put a split here. Let's say I don't want to keep this part. I could hit S here, cut that out. And then I can also do things like what I use these heavily for is fast forwarding silences, especially when it comes to making GIFs and stuff like that. Your speed is just everything with that design. And then you outkick. So this right here is now just 8 megabits. 9 megabits in size. This is another one of those requests, okay? And he's saying it can basically change his life, but I want to understand why it can change his life, okay? He's asking, is there a way to uncut a cut, right? Like make one cut, like they happen.
Yeah, it's possible.
But why? Like I've never needed that, but it seems like
I think what he's referring to is that in Premiere Pro, those cuts are exported. Those cuts do not combine into one.
Here, let's look here. Play talks.
I normally use TimeBolt for is audio editing.
Can you hear that?
I have clips with or audio files that have thousands of clips that I have to cut up, and this program makes it very easy. Before I had to cut it up each and every clip individually, and it took a very long time. My question is, after I have the clip cut up and it's cut out the silences, in many cases there are clips like this one right here that the program cut here, and this one here where it cut here. And I want these two clips to be one, and this to all be one, and I want to get rid of this part or make this green, so that it merges these two clips, and it's just
he wants a merge,
And I want to know, I haven't been able to figure out how to do it yet, but I want to know if that's a feature that you guys have, because that would make my workflow even faster. Right now I have to export it into Adobe Premiere and then manually fix those little issues where two clips have been cut and I have to join them together by nesting them. It would be a lot easier if I could just do it in this program, then I wouldn't have to export it anywhere else.
I don't know what level of priority it is, but merging cuts is
No one knows where a thing is cut in the final production, right? Like, I don't understand.
no, it is in Premiere Pro.
But why does it like that's just something is it visually it's hard?
No, I think he has a specific application. I think he does video clips, right? So maybe he's running. What I think he's doing is he's doing audio stuff for which he needs those precise, unfiltered cuts without having anything in the middle. I think he's doing audio stuff, which is the thing.
What would it? Is there a difference in the end product? Okay, in the end, what the you can't tell where a cut was made in any.
Maybe in
right?
some maybe he's doing something that has that fidelity requirement. But in any case, I think that's a feature we should have. Merging cuts, rolling green cuts, you can just combine them together. We had the thing, we use it in
the merge.
Instead of having it like a individual feature where you can do individual cuts, you can do blanket on all of them. Welcome.
That's a cool name, man.
That's me.
Nice. How can we help you today?
Well, I'm interested to know a little bit more about what you guys are doing. It's a privilege, honestly, to be here to listen to you guys speak. Your app is phenomenal. It's crazy. It's really good. It's really impressive. Honestly.
Can you give us some context on like what type of content you create and maybe how you found TimeBolt?
First of all, I found TimeBolt in 2021. I was doing some streams and then I was like, in order to compress these in a more digestible manner for people to be entertained, consume exactly. Then I was editing them and I was taking almost 3 or 4 hours cutting the dead space. But then when I forgot how I found out about TimeBolt, but somehow I came across your app. I tried it and I think a day later, not even, I bought a subscription. It was still the same price it is now, if I believe.
You've been a subscriber since 21?
I've been for a few months on and off.
Nice.
On and off. Yeah, I just rebought one again actually recently, 2 days ago. And then after the streams, I started using it again for podcast episodes. And then I realized Premiere had their own, and I just wanted to try it, and it's not the same. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it. Oh, no.
It's text-based and it's based on transcriptions, I think.
Okay, I'm not really too sure. I'm not really tech savvy, but it's not the same. Like it cuts it not perfect at all. It's too premature.
Transcriptions are not very accurate when it comes to detecting exactly where the cut is, because transcriptions were invented for a different purpose. They weren't invented to cut video. TimeBolt is invented to cut video. That's the whole point.
If I could hear kind of your process that you went through with Premiere, like you saw that they offered, you were like, oh great, Premiere's doing cutting dead air, cutting dead spaces. When you went through that process, you were finding that were the words getting cut off early? Was it like your padding level, lack of padding control in some of the scenarios? I noticed like some of my years were getting cut off. Like I'd say YouTube and it would cut off the tube. I would say 1925 or whatever.
Basically.
And it would cut off the 25. I didn't know why, right?
That's what it does. That's why I went back to TimeBolt shortly after that, because it was the podcast episode is still up there. You can see it's not that good. It's way too premature. And I actually had to spend more time getting fixing those things. It doesn't give you as much freedom to change, I guess, the padding and stuff as TimeBolt does, if I remember correctly. You have a lot more that you can
control
tweak in TimeBolt. Right now, I'm figuring out how I could use that kind of app in order to create different formats. Believe it or not, like I think I'm just going to focus on short form, because the streams that I do are like 7 hours long. But instead of just cutting everything up and just putting out a shortened 3 hour, or I would say like 40-minute video from that 7-hour stream, I'm really using the most entertaining parts of that. And even those are short form vertical contents, it helps me just piece them together like that automatically. It's really good.
How's it shot? When you're saying it's a short form vertical, is it shot vertical or horizontal?
No, that's the thing. It's shot horizontal, and I myself go on Premiere and I create a sequence in vertical. I have to add another, I'm not sure how you call them, but like two layers. You have to put the camera on top and then crop it and then put the gameplay in the bottom. And it doesn't take much time. I think it's worth it.
Okay. You've got 2 layers. It's not like if you were given a choice of a 3-part. Like, let's say you were given a part of a choice when you do like let's say it's shorts mode in TimeBolt, and you were able to say, I want this third or the middle third or the side third that's vertical, that you could always kind of place that capture in the middle of the action. Do you have, like, it sounds like that you would have 2 files though that you're putting on top of one another. For example,
but this is taken out of his stream, Doug. This is like taken out of his stream. He streams on, I think, you stream on Twitch?
Yeah, but I also record it at the same time.
So he's recording and streaming. He has.
I'm plugging that into TimeBolt. And the recording from OBS, I set it up in a way where I have 2 audio sources, one for my mic and one for the gameplay. And then I just pick audio number 1 or audio number 0 in TimeBolt.
Correct.
So that focuses on one source to cut. Unfortunately, though, just yesterday, funnily enough, I encountered a little problem. I'm not sure if it's on my end. Most likely it is. But even on TimeBolt, I would see 0 and 1 as two separate audios. And I could clearly hear that one is my voice and the other was the desktop audio or gameplay audio. And once I would choose my voice, it would show all the cuts with my vocal waveforms right there. That clearly means it's my voice. And when I would export it to XML, when I go to Premiere, it's two audio channels of just the desktop audio.
What happens is when you export to XML, there's a limitation with XML where the tracks are not automatically selected. You have to manually select from which tracks. So what happens is when you take the XML, put it in Premiere Pro, you select the track which you want the desktop audio to be in. You right-click, go to Clip Attributes, and then select that audio from that list.
Okay, I remember I did that a long time ago. I know exactly what you're talking about. But I had a fix around from that, from one of your streams, actually, YouTube, from I think a few months ago, 3 months ago, you guys streamed together and you put it on YouTube, and you explained, sorry, what's your name?
Winston, my name is Winston.
Winston, okay, Winston and Doug,
Q,
right?
with the Q.
Quinston, my bad. Yeah, my bad. All right, and you guys were talking about it. Randomly in the stream, I encountered you talking about this problem I was facing. And basically what you did was it was between the timeline and the source. Do you remember? You got to go to the source and you got to pick another an audio file. I picked my actual recording audio file, all of it, put it into.
You basically rendered the whole thing as a WAV file. Oh, I got it.
Oh, nice.
No, I didn't render anything.
You can do that. You can do that.
I put it in the source and I used the cuts from TimeBolt XML, and then,
because they're the same time.
Yeah, and it worked, and that's all I needed to do. That's it.
Multiple ways to get to the same outcome.
At the end of the day, it worked. That's all that matters.
Do you know about like how to use markers to mark down shorts? Do you use anything like that?
I saw you speak about it in a video on markers on the TimeBolt app. I've not used it yet. No.
Okay, and I didn't know
for the shorts, right? For the clips and shorts.
For the shorts.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what's a good direction that we can head with you, because I think when you're talking about 3 hours worth of footage, are you watching it through once? Are you like watching it like you're streamed like down? Like, do you have one long stream, or are you just completely going to be moving to shorts? Like,
oh no, I do have one long stream.
One long stream that's edited down from the 3 hours down to how long would you say?
Yeah, that's what I was contemplating, whether to actually go forward and still upload that kind of content or not. I at least on a different channel for sure. But there definitely, I feel like, needs to be some tweaks for sure. And make sure that there is not, sometimes there's things out there that gets picked up, or your voice, stuff like that. Or not just even that, things that are not really, it's just fluff. It definitely needs to take more time into getting those out.
Do you use Umcheck?
No, I don't. I saw that it was a feature on your app. I've never used it. No, it's on demand, right?
Yes, it's on demand. And we just implemented just like yesterday, a payments credit system to where you don't have to pay each and every time. You can actually just purchase bulk credits. And it, like, once you purchase $10-20 worth of credits, it just automatically comes off, but you're only pressing one button. You're not having to go through Stripe and do all that kind of stuff. But the feature itself, it's just kind of the payment of it, but the feature itself, let me show you something. This is kind of, if you were to run Umcheck, so the first thing that you do is you run your automations. And with Umcheck, I've already run this. I'm going to just go ahead and select my transcription file. This right here, look at all the over 1,600 instances of filler words. And look at this. Happy New Year. See how I repeat this? I'm a stuttering, bumbling idiot. And this helps me completely clean up. Look at this. I mean, it ends up cutting out all the extra fluff. There's nothing that you see in here when you read it, you're like, oh, that's a lot of cuts, but it actually usually comes at the beginning or the end of sentences. And it's absolute, like I say, is 3 times here. Our capture is really a valuable tool. Not our capture is really a valuable tool. This is what cleans it up, right? So when you were talking about like the base cut, we use a base cut of sound detection, not AI transcription. Their base cut is inherently more precise. We basically get the sound wave detection and then the big pieces of dead air accurately detected. And then we overlay on top of that this AI transcriptions. Okay. And that's why things still stays accurate. I basically turn off selected words. And I think in this file, you're going from, I think it's an extra 10 minutes of just saying bullshit, like 10 minutes of just that, not just even like the dead air. Hell, without doing anything, we decreased the size of this by 30 minutes. 31 minutes, right?
It's shorter by 31 minutes. That's amazing.
Shorter by 31 minutes. And I could do like reverse timeline and you would just hear, this saves a boatload of time. We're going to be able to do a lot of new. Oh, wait, I've already edited. I edited. Greatly improved. These are all just fast forward on. It would actually change.
Yeah, you could hear I see the repeated words.
Yeah, the repeated words, the ums, ahs. And this is the thing, even though we are not a transcription-based company, our Umcheck is better than anything else on the market. You can go in and type in your own unique word, tick, phrase. If you own a book that's like, go fuck yourself, or like how to not give 2 fucks, I could go back, and I'm actually going to delete that out of this recording. You just type in the word fuck, and the next thing you can be a
Delete it.
PG-13 book. Right? I'm getting ready to do some skits, man. I literally have 5 books that all have the word book in it. I'm just gonna like lay them out there, and you're gonna be able to read it, but you just won't be able to hear me say it. But you can put your own unique word tick phrases in. It doesn't come with like a set defined list. And we did our Umcheck and repeat word checker. We're finding 50% more filler content than what the nearest competitors. This is a valuable tool, but it costs money because we're paying for word token transcriptions. These are the best natural language processing that
I don't know the process of how this works, but no, it's definitely it's very important. It could help a lot of people. I'm sure it does already, right? You said you implemented it recently, though.
No, we implemented the actual credit system, so people had to go in with each one and say, okay, I want to. Like you take your 3 hours and it would say it's going to cost X amount of dollars for this many hours, and you would pay for it, and then it would run. Yeah. This way, it's just like people are like, look, I just want to throw some money down on a card and have our credits be able to rack up. And you only pay for what you use, right?
What kind of format do you think would work best for this feature? Like what kind of, in terms of your consumers, your customers?
Unscripted
would it be podcasters? Video. Would it be, sorry?
Unscripted video. The podcast streams a video that you just record without having a script.
Okay. Oh, unscripted video. I see. Okay. Is there anything else other than podcast and stream?
I use it for everything. Like any unscripted video. I really do. When you were talking about making video in Premiere, right? There is the idea, even if Premiere got it right, like even if the cuts were perfect and all that kind of stuff, our bet is that you don't want to make every video in Premiere. It's file intensive. It's an intensive program. It's not like, hey, I got to shoot a quick video message over to my colleague that explains something about that would usually take me a 5 or 10 paragraph email. It's a tool. What we built TimeBolt as is kind of this lightweight app that is your own personal video communication software. Whether you're making complex projects in Premiere where you've got multiple camera, or your 3-hour video, you got multiple cameras or multiple audio tracks, or if you're doing simple screen recording. Have you seen our screen recorder capability?
I haven't.
This is awesome. Okay. Have you ever used Loom before? Have you ever heard of it?
I don't think so. Probably a long time ago. No.
There's people that use these local screen recorders on the web and pull their video down. It makes it real easy to like record your webcam and your screen, just like this. You record your webcam and your screen. But the problem is that while it's easy to make, it sucks to watch. Okay, because you still have all the dead air and all the other stuff. And if it's slow, your video's slow, it doesn't work. This is what's cool about the screen recorder. This is all standard stuff where you can choose your source. But right here, you can do standard, quick, and small or highest quality. For example, I'm going to just go ahead and start recording. So for example, like after we get done recording, you're going to have a minute video, like on a standard, quick, and small, that's either going to be 30 megabits, but if you did it on high, it'd be 300. One of the barriers to also making videos, you don't need a 300 meg file to send to your colleague explaining something that you're trying to save meeting up on at a Zoom, or you need to post to a user form. It's just not necessary. But we built this to basically handle both very quick video stuff that you want to upload to YouTube. You can stop talking, go full screen, talk again. You're like changing scenes, and then you start talking again. But check this out. You hit stop recording, save video.
And now it's optimizing the file to send.
And when they say optimizing the file, it's actually making sure that all the variable bitrate frame, like the actual capture, QuickTime actually captures in variable frame rate. This is why you get like an audio desyncing issue when some of these videos. We fixed all that right up front.
The only recording software that I'm familiar with is OBS. Yeah, that's it. Does it optimize as well whenever you record?
I don't know if OBS optimizes, but this TimeBolt does. TimeBolt converts. It basically makes the file such that it won't have any problems in any video editing tool or while watching on the internet. So it basically makes the file bulletproof.
Is this an MP4 or is like this?
Yeah, it's an MP4. MP4 H264.
So this is the file. So imagine this. You're in a user form, gaming user form, where you can't like upload a 30 megabit file, but you need a link, right? People are like opening up these docs, they're making like a Loom. Now what you do is go down here. Who doesn't want to talk 12% faster? I put this on all my videos, a 1.125x turbo mode, right? And then this is the beauty. You hit send a banger, okay? This is what it's going to be referred to as, like, this is watchable video in a link faster than you can record it live. And no one's ever said that before, right? You would be 6, 7, 8 times that in Premiere. So long that you just don't make video. Speed changes everything. It changes how we communicate. And we believe at this speed and this simplicity, we can encourage more video because it actually doesn't suck to watch.
You're actually increasing by 1.125 the output.
Yeah,
what I'm going to watch.
Speeding up.
Exactly. It's going to be sped up. Okay.
And
so
I'm surprised this hasn't run. Now, check this out. I just hit copy right here. What you have now, this is just an example of how you can also use this video. Check this out. I just click the link. Let me pull this back. For example, like after we get done recording, you're going to have a minute video, like on up on a Zoom, or you need to post to a user form. It's just not necessary. But we built this to basically handle both very quick video stuff that you want to upload to YouTube. You can stop talking, go full screen, talk again. You're like changing scenes, and then you start talking again.
It did remove the silence, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything is edited like a YouTube video instantly.
That's crazy.
Imagine a person working in a corporate office and they want to send a video to their colleague. You don't expect them to learn how to edit video, right? The video that they're going to send is going to be incredibly boring to watch.
Yeah.
But TimeBolt does the editing for them.
That's
the beauty of it.
You get a video from like a guy you do a contract work, right? And it's jump cut, and you got some punch work, and you think that this person like literally opened up Premiere, did all this stuff, and then sent you a cut video. And like that is the most important thing to me when I'm watching. It's not like, hey, did you put a nice little circle on your webcam? That's not the point.
For sure. No, you're right. Efficiency is like very important for me too. If you can make me stop using Premiere, and I would just be using TimeBolt. Honestly, I will try today actually to work and play around with some stuff. Like the markers, for example.
Yeah, so the markers, quick video, content creation, send a banger. Of course, you can render that file and speed it up with just straight to your computer and upload it to Slack. Or it's the size, it's a 20 megabit file you can email, right? These are small, high quality though, like they're good enough to view. Or you can do stuff for YouTube at the highest quality. Then now, if you're looking at your use case of your 3 hours, what you're going to do, you just go through, you find what you want to run your automations before you start throwing markers down, because you want all your cuts to be there. And your goal is to get this done in the first pass. You have, you can do punch, you can hit P and alter option in the arrow key in your gameplay. If you want to accentuate something, you don't have to learn keyframes. This stuff exports XML.
Wait, so right now, you're basically keyframing or equivalent to that?
It's equivalent to that, correct.
I'm clicking the button.
When it exports, equivalent. When it exports to Premiere, it will come up as like a effect on the clip.
All right, not a keyframe. I see.
Santa Claus.
That's
Okay, we got to actually make shit. But see how it switches, right? It jumps on the jump cut. Never previewed this at 1x. Okay, always put this at 1.5. That way, when you hit the space bar, did you get a chance? It just automatically is going fast enough. Your goal with this is to be able to entirely cut and categorize and enhance some of the pieces on the first pass. You should never have to watch this content again, okay? Because that's where you get screwed up. After you go through a 3-hour thing and you turn it into an hour and a half of usable footage for YouTube, now you're gonna have to go back and find the fucking shorts, right? Because dude, I just watched this right now for real content. Now I gotta go back and find the shorts. That's why as you're punching around and doing your thing here, you can write. I don't know if gamers chapter their content at all. Do you do anything like that for YouTube chapters?
Oh, the timestamps. Not so much for gaming, no, but for podcasting for sure.
Well, this is going to save you a boatload of time. I don't know about this either. Okay, it's chapter 1. Okay, all you do is right click. This is the only time that I would say use your keyboard. Okay, you right click. There's chapter 1, and you're like, oh, I also want this chapter to see how I can see it right here. I also want this chapter to be part of my shorts. That's going to happen a lot. Sometimes it'll happen. I hit M, mark cut. Maybe this part is that mark cut, right? And that's, I'm scrolling through, or I'm going through, and this is chapter 2. All you do is just right click.
Is there a way to zoom? I haven't tried, but is there a way to zoom out?
No, not yet.
Okay.
It's intentionally like that because we want you to focus on the waveform. The zooming in, this is from a product development perspective. We feel like, as a company, we feel like zooming in is a distraction from the actual meat of what's happening. It's not implemented yet.
No, but not the zoom in, the zoom out.
Zoom out
to kind of see, like just to see the broader, from a high level.
No, it's not implemented. No, it's not implemented.
I mean, it's just curiosity. I feel like
it's something that's technically difficult to pull off with the setup that we have. Hopefully, we get it. We get why. We separated this into 45-minute editing chunks to kind of keep it separate. But again, I really do think that the goal of this is one pass and you're done. As you're going through, I just added some markers, and watch this. And this is all worth it, dude. Chapter 3. Okay. I don't know if anything about our quick keys. We just had a big timeline at performance. Remember the quick keys. You're going to soon remember USOB. Okay. U is about to come. It's going to be a unwind button. Okay. When you click U, it's going to jump back 3 spots. So as you're editing, you can jump back without even stopping and needing to zoom in on the timeline, and goes like after you cut up a bunch of stuff, you can just jump back quickly with that. Okay.
You mean to rewatch it?
To rewatch what you just made. It goes back It'll go back. We're thinking like 3 green spots.
I do DJ sets, and I kind of do that as
Yeah,
well. So
nice.
it's similar.
That's some. Then we have SOB, right? S is the split the timeline. See how I just hit S? See how it creates a split, turns the existing scene off. This is how, watch this. If you're just like, damn, I've got like 30 minutes of shit in the middle, like, oh, I definitely don't want any of this. Where am I at right now on this timeline? I am at 22:31, right? Watch
No,
this.
420.
Oh, wait.
Oh,
perfect. Yeah, perfect. There we go. Ready? Say, oh.
Oh.
It's turning off everything.
Within 10 seconds, I just shut off anything in
6
between.
minutes.
6 minutes of content, right? Just by holding the O button down.
Okay, by holding it. All right.
You can hold O down.
And by visualizing on the screen, you can kind of tell when to stop. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can use,
Reencoder,
or you can use markers, right? Like, but I also don't have to stop the playhead. Now you just hit reencode, and the file is reencoded, and that would see, like, that's why we put this at 1.5x. We ran our animations, put this at 1.5x. Once we start running this, I can usually edit on the fly. I don't even have to stop the playhead, right? Imagine we're watching this uploads. I don't need to worry about the converting. And I'm like, oh, I just said the exact same thing over here, or like, this is my the best take version. So I'm going through. I hit the B limitations, and that back cuts. Right, back cuts the previous scene, so you don't have to USOB, right? And that's
so B cuts the previous scene, like this deselects it.
Deselects it. That makes it
like you don't know. You may not know that you're re-saying something over, or you said something that you're just like, oh, you don't want to have this every time that you don't want something. No. Like I just heard that whole thing, and now I'd have to go back and then hit O. Like we don't want to have to do that.
That's amazing. That's really good.
And the reason I'm just explaining that. It's not like something new to learn. It is truly faster to cut and splice your timeline entirely in TimeBolt. And when you do it this way, all of these other features that I'm going to show you work extremely well. You don't want to add time inside Premiere if that's what you're doing, okay? And this is why. I now go back to my chapters. This is chapter, and let's say I want this in here.
Can you do this with an AVI
and
file?
this and that as a marker. Now what happens is I can go down here. Again, I always do activate turbo mode because I render with TimeBolt. You may not be doing that. We'll just go straight because you're going to be exporting to Premiere. But what you can do is download chapters text file. And what you have right here, you just copy and paste this right into the description of YouTube, and all of your YouTube chapters are done, right? Like there's, and you're not relying on AI, some verbose AI to tell me 10 things. You're able to dictate like how it's structured. Like that's something that I'm able to do right now pretty well. Now that you have that, you can go in here and do keep only mark cuts. So now
shift up and down to get to the green one. Shift up and down goes to the next green one or the previous green one.
Only your mark cuts are in here. Now, P4, yes.
Can you do this with an AVI file?
I don't know today, Quentin, what I don't have these. As you can see, only your marks.
Yeah, for sure.
And then you go down here and you're able to go export XML or render a video. If you're already on a vertical format, if you're making video with your phone, right, this is a very helpful tool. Okay, because while you're also doing this, I want you to keep in mind, see this mark duration right here? It's adding up the time as you keep hitting M. Now, if you're trying to make a short for YouTube, like right here, you're able to basically add up the time, right? And get to the right duration before you export.
How long the short should be.
We're talking about content that's a little bit over a minute here, or is just purely shorts and vertical up to 60 seconds content?
Well, that depends. I don't know about gaming, like the gaming piece of this, but if you are making a short, like if you shot a video, for example, on your phone, go ahead. You have a question?
I did have a question, actually. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, but just to get an understanding about the vertical aspect of things. Is there a way for TimeBolt, either now or in the future, maybe? I'm not sure if you're familiar, either Quinston or Doug, on Twitch, there is a feature on Twitch to turn your clips, horizontal clips, straight away automatically into verticals. Are you familiar with that?
No, not familiar.
They pinpoint already where your cam is. You can select an area on the screen, a rectangle to where your cam is, and that will be where your face cam is going to be. And there's another rectangle for the gameplay. And you can select those two areas, and then you can export it straight away from Twitch to either TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube. As like one video.
It will basically make it into one video.
Is there a way for TimeBolt to do something like that?
Yes, it's possible, but I think that feature would be too specific for gaming. I don't know if
it probably would be, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it probably most likely would be.
Twitch can do it because Twitch is a gaming platform, right? It makes sense for them to have that feature. What Doug is trying to explain over here is that when you're making shorts, right, from a 3-hour file, you basically have to watch the file at least once so that what are you going to make what are you going to cut out to make the short, right? The markers feature is very good at basically in you are going through the file in one pass. You're watching from the start. While you're watching it, you come across some content that you want. You start marking those clips, and then you keep only those marked clips. You export to XML, and then you reverse the timeline to its original state so you can keep watching it. And then you do the same process again for each short. Right now, Doug showed you the keep only marked cuts. Now we export the XML, and then you do a Control-Z to get the state back to the previous one.
We were kicking the idea around of like a shorts mode. Okay, like for example, I just did a bunch of actions that didn't allow me to undo Z. I think you're only up to like 10. Once you do keep only mark cuts, you're kind of limited to any like tweaks that you make on the inside, because then you won't be able to get out of keep only mark cuts. Right? Like I can't right now. My question, we were kind of kicking this idea around, is a shorts mode. And to your point, if you're doing a shorts, like it goes vertical. Like that's what it's a vertical for phone type. Would TimeBolt ever have a deal where shorts mode on, and it literally the center of your screen when you do that? And now for each one of those markers that you have, like centering the action wherever you want it on that screen in that vertical mode. Like if the action's happening on the left, you'd be able to put it on the left, but
yes,
on a horizontal, it's split up into thirds, right? It's basically 3 vertical possibility frames. Is there a way to combine that? Because we know, like, if you go to shorts mode, you're going to want to make it into a vertical video. And it would be ideal that if it rendered straight out of TimeBolt this way, because then what happens is, this is the beauty of it. If you're already shooting a vertical video, it works flawless, okay? Like, but if it's a horizontal video like this, that's where you're going to have to use another editor at this point. But if you're doing that, if you're like have a vertical video, we promise to get hot models in to do our video stuff. Okay, we are working on that. We are expanding this company. This is a vertical. You can already see it. We already got one on our homepage. It was custom made for us. It's really a difficult proposition getting attractive females. Like, especially like I ended up having to go to Fiverr. Me just approaching them in the gym hasn't gone to blend yet. But with this, we're at like 1 minute and 17 seconds. And let's just say this is like a minute output of 1 minute and 10 seconds right here. Okay. Now I need all this content for my short because everything is important material in here. So instead of like just cutting off something important, like my contact information or something, I go down here, I go activate turbo mode, and I say, fit this time limit to within 59 seconds.
Oh, okay.
I can do this. This speeds up the whole rate of speech by basically 20%, right? 1.2x. What I do now is I go to export clips to a folder. This is our shorts workflow for Capcut. We'll create a new folder, select folder. And what you're going to see is now what TimeBolt will do is it'll go in and actually export each one of these as individual video clips. And I'll show you what that looks like. And I'll show you why you want to do it this way. Do you use Capcut? You say you're using Capcut at all?
No, I haven't tried it yet.
Oh no, that's
not familiar with it yet.
You basically are able to import all of these individual video clips all at once in sequential order, okay, from the folders. It's just a drag and drop, boom, okay? And now your entire timeline when you arrive inside Capcut is entirely cut up, and you can do things like auto captions. It's free auto captions, and because it's already cut up as like a nice timeline, the accuracy of the transcriptions and like where, like, you're not sitting here doing a bunch of, well, do I have to
back and
pull
forth
that back
and start?
That shit saves so much time. And now your stuff's already cut up, and look at how simple it is just to add some effects over specific clips. Oh, your transitions, drop some, I have no idea what these transitions do, but now all your captions, like the actual captions piece of this, like where'd they go? You can just change it all right here, throw a nice little style on it, and to the rest.
Does it do this thing where like highlights the words that you're actually speaking?
Yeah.
I don't know. Does Capcut do it?
Well, you have to get the pro version to do.
The pro version. Yeah, we should add that to TimeBolt. With Umcheck, it's possible.
The Umcheck, huh?
Like just get like a standard. There's only people really like the yellow on that stuff.
Yeah,
right?
Stands out.
But yes, it's somewhere it does that in here. I'm not like an expert on.
I've never heard of Capcut.
Holy, I know it's a like.
Do you know who owns Capcut?
TikTok.
Oh, I did not know. Okay.
TikTok's program is Capcut. That's how what they promote for other people to edit video.
Look at all the effects. Okay. Like you can this is we're solving attention deficit video disorder. That's what the problem we solve.
Basically,
and this right here is like they've got incredible. What you don't want to do is Capcut also, you're also paying like this Whisper, they use Whisper for their transcriptions here, but it's on a sentence level. So you can get those for free. They don't need to be word token based unless you want to. They also have a check and a silence removal tool. Go ahead and try and use that inside this platform and see what it's hard.
Okay.
It's just it'll take you 3 times as long to cut up your timeline just to even start doing this than arriving here like this. It's a great thing.
And who's the one doing all that? Is it Quinston or is it, who is it? Who's the
Quinston.
developer? Quinston.
Winston's the wizard. I call him the wizard.
This feels like he is. You are, man. Like doing all that stuff is insane.
Guess how big our team is.
You guys.
It's
One person developer, the other person is the CEO.
That's what I thought. That's insane. That's crazy.
This is all free. That's all free. And that's our workflow into shorts. But again, like you were saying, I'm not exactly sure. I would love to understand your use case when it comes to like cutting up shorts. There's also in gaming, there's these AI tools that claim to like just be able to cut everything up and put it in the categories. And then
I saw you mention that in the email. I'm not familiar with them. I haven't really researched too much about it. It usually definitely helps me. TimeBolt definitely helps me do my own gaming stuff. No, big time. But I don't just do that. Like I do podcasting as well. That's going to be very big for me. And like using TimeBolt alone without even having to use Premiere is going to be very efficient for me. Like if I learn how to use these markers, one pass, like you say, that's going to save me a lot of time. So I'm definitely going to start using it more and more.
excellent. And Mehdi,
Tell me.
there was one other gentleman. Hold on, let me check something real quick.
Vlogging as well. I feel like it could be a...
Talking head video mostly. So if you're
Mhm.
talking to the camera directly, it's the best tool. TimeBolt is like unbeatable because you have that script, right? That's why I said scripted video is very efficient because you just read the script, there's voice. You don't read the script, there's silence. You just take that video, drop it in TimeBolt. It's completely edited, very easy.
But vlogging too, like you guys mentioned, how you said, Quinston, the unscripted, like you could, Umcheck. Yeah, that would feel like could be very powerful. But
I was actually going to read your response to the email that I did, those email questions. This is great. You'd like to promote TimeBolt, and
yeah, that's me.
We can get you. And no, this is
Definitely.
great. Like if they're clicking your link, and like gamers, they don't talk about TimeBolt because why would they? Because they're
I
competition.
heard you say that.
Yeah.
I saw your email. You mentioned that. Is that really how it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I
especially
know. Yeah, we have like famous people who don't talk about TimeBolt using TimeBolt, but they don't publicly say that.
why would you?
That doesn't
Especially
make sense to me. Like, I don't know why they would go so far as to just not mention
Yeah.
what they're using to edit their videos. It's stupid.
It's a
Yeah.
time advantage.
I-
You all are basically competing for the same
Audience pool.
eyeballs, I would imagine. There was people that watch live game streams on YouTube, and
Yeah, no, for sure. You definitely are. But there is a form of goodwill, I feel like, if you're giving out that value to other people. Hey, this is what I'm using. I feel like you get that value back as a
I
person.
think more than I think there are two perspectives to this. The perspective that I think is that the people who have these audiences, right? They are not promoting editing content. They just want to entertain.
Mhm.
It's more of a like, why would you promote any software, even TimeBolt? Because the audience is not there to learn about software. The audience is there to be entertained. So why would they talk about the software in the first place? Is also
That's
one of the
those
things.
people. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, but
If
unless
they
you're a
have that mindset,
creator like yourself, like that's what I like about you. Do multiple types of content, so you're going to be able to talk about how you make content versus just making
of
it
course.
for
Man,
entertainment.
Doug, like my passion is literally it's content creation. It's been that for years, just creating
Nice.
content, whether it be vlogging, whether it be gaming, podcasting, anything. So that's my passion. And if I could have others out there, and there's a lot of them, watching you being entertained and consuming your content, my content, that want to know how I do it. I get people coming in, how do you vlog? How do you start vlogging? I tell them how. You start with your iPhone, right? And you can upgrade to this camera. And how do you edit your videos? Oh, I use Final Cut Pro back then. You can use DaVinci if you don't have money. And you can use Premiere. Oh, I use TimeBolt as well. There you go. It can help them. Then that's perfect. It creates reciprocity as well. Like this dude helped me out. Now I
Correct.
got to give him back, right?
With like your type of enthusiasm and passion, there are a lot of people that just don't know that your number one job, like when you hit the record, is like, how do I not look foolish on camera? And like the fact, once you remove that stuff automatically, it's so much easier to watch yourself in video, and it gives you a better propensity to want to make it in the future, right? Like that it's not some mystic, I need to get everything right on the first take or I'm screwed type scenario.
The rendering process on TimeBolt, how does it compare to the one, for example, in Media Encoder or Premiere? Like, is it the same?
There's no, like, night and day. Don't even expect the same.
Oh, it's better.
It's not as good.
Oh, okay. No,
Yeah.
that's why I asked, because I had no idea at all.
We have set up TimeBolt in a way that is good for compressing the video and sending it to people. That's how the basic TimeBolt rendering is set up.
Yes,
It's
I got
not
that.
the highest quality, and there is a good reason for that, because if you are the kind of customer who wants the highest quality, then you will be the kind of customer who also has a Premiere Pro subscription and all those things. DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro. If you want to control the fidelity level of how good the quality is, you can always export XML and just render it from DaVinci Resolve
sure.
or Premiere Pro. But if you want to render it fast, easy, quick, and just want to send it to somebody, then TimeBolt is very easy to render. Just click a button and stuff.
So very good for corporate.
Yeah, like if you want to,
Yes.
exactly. I wouldn't trust it for high quality projects. Is what I'll say.
Like
I
a
know
big
there's
brand video, like
yeah, big brand video, fidelity. You need incredible 1080p crisp. But yeah, don't use it for that.
I get it. No, that makes sense. That was my last question. All right.
But for like shorts and stuff like that,
Yeah, shorts are fine. YouTube
It-
shorts
yeah,
are fine. Yeah.
all of our ads made with shorts and stuff are all rendered right in TimeBolt because I export as clips and we do it right inside CapCut and stuff like that. For that, the
It's similar.
quality's-
Even for CapCut, I wouldn't say it's a good idea to use CapCut output on YouTube. I wouldn't say that. Because
Okay.
the bitrate is not very good.
But
Alright.
for short video-
Not short. I'm talking about the full length video. Like if it's a horizontal 19 by a 16 by 9 video, I don't think you should use CapCut for that. Just my opinion.
yeah.
Is there a way, by any chance? I know it's probably a silly question, but how you use the screen share, Doug, earlier? What was that called again?
Oh, you're talking about send a banger?
and then it optimized it afterwards, right? After you,
Yeah, exactly.
right?
It optimizes it, correct.
Isn't there, because it kind of worked like OBS then, right? It had your cam and it had the screen.
Yeah, but one click and then it's there. With OBS, you have to set it up.
The scenes.
You have to set
You do have scenes.
yeah,
Okay. No, I guess my
scenes.
question was just like, then in that case, then can it not just optimize all the cuts already after you're done with your stream, right? But that's probably way.
No,
way
that's a
too,
different
way too
application
difficult.
because what happens, yeah.
Okay.
Here, what TimeBolt does is it already takes the audio that's recorded and then it puts it through. What you're saying is it's live, right? The recording is progressing and then the
Yeah,
cuts
yeah.
are
Well,
being-
kind of like
it's possible, but I think like building that technology is hard and the people who are going to use it is not big enough.
Maybe one day you guys will have a separate branch just for gaming, and then we'll see.
Yeah,
I agree.
you guys are your own animal, man.
If you promote this to enough gamers, then we'll make that.
Hey, we'll see. I'm motivated now.
The last two things, if you're a marketer, know that you can take TimeBolt and do you ever record an MKV file? I know a lot of gamers do MKV. That
I
if
think
the
it is set up
stream
on
goes
MKV.
down. Well, MKV won't run natively in TimeBolt. Okay.
Let me check that real quick. Okay.
We're working on that right now. That's the most priority task right now to make sure it does, but it doesn't at the moment.
Well, but the thing is that we did find out that you can convert the MKV with TimeBolt. We actually have a re-encoder inside TimeBolt to get these files back to.
No, I haven't, but it's on MP4. My OBS set up on MP4. It used to be on MKV just because you mentioned like if something happened, like you lose the footage, right?
Well, in here, you can actually, these are valuable tools. Up here at this little, everything Quinston had, every little button here means something. We have a re-encoder tool, okay, to where you don't have to use some other tool to do this. You can re-encode straight to an MP4 if you're doing like an MKV, which will then run in TimeBolt. You just select your audio file. You're actually able to also use this tool if you're doing multicam projects and you have like a camera that you accidentally put at like a 30 frames per second when all your other cameras are set at 29.97, which would cause your frames to be messed up. You can actually re-encode these files to a specific frame rate with this tool too.
This one is set to a high bit rate. This is set to very high bit rate.
Yeah,
so you will not lose a lot of.
It's a re-encoder tool. You don't like for handbrake and stuff. It's
I've used
good
that
enough
before.
quality that it's good. This variable frame rate detector, this tool right here, this is often something like with gamers when they're going through and they're doing something with OBS, and sometimes the screen recorder, or through Twitch, it'll change the
Drop
frame rate
frames.
some minor a bit to account for stream variability or like upload bandwidth constraints. But what happens is when you try and edit something like that, you'll get audio and video will
Distortion.
go out of
Yeah.
sync over time. Well, that's because it's variable frame rate. Well, you don't know if a file's variable frame rate. You can't right click it and say, hey, look at the information and see if there's actually like 10 lines of freaking code that you have to run in a command line to figure out if a file is even variable frame rate at all. Well, Quinston packaged all that up into this little button. Now you can just like run any file. It'll tell you if it's variable frame rate. And if it is, you have the option to convert to a constant frame rate right in the same windows. All the problems of like audio sync and video sync can all be fixed without ever leaving TimeBolt. And
That's sick. Honestly, that's sick.
when you use your screen recorder, it can be used for, as a marketer, you capturing like GIFs and stuff like that. Do you ever make like GIFs, stuff for
I've done
websites?
GIFs,
And
yeah.
to like your thumbnail or something, or like your email blast, capture it with TimeBolt, and you can actually just go in, cut it up. And because you're capturing with TimeBolt, it's not going to be 300 megs, which means you can upload it to Easy GIF Maker, right? And get something that's like 5 megabits. This is really kind of a great marketer's toolbox here for just making a variety of different videos with just leaving this thing open on your computer. That's what I do.
Hey man, this is giving me even ideas, honestly, doing a different kind of content format, which would be more commentary style. for fitness, for example. Because if
Yeah.
it's going to remove some ums and some additional repetition, then it's removing a lot of heavy work from your post-production, stuff like that. No, you guys are really
If you're doing that type of content where you're demonstrating something, okay, the other advantage of using sound detection versus transcription is the fact that the time doesn't disappear in between two sentences. Okay, like that stays there. You can do things like fast forward silence as well. I don't know if you've gotten into that.
no, I'm not.
Like that's a big one for gaming.
It would
Like,
be actually, yes. Now that you mention
we're
it.
entirely unique in that aspect. Imagine this. The way your play develops matters. You may not be speaking and vocalizing it, but
Yeah.
you don't want to lose all that content, right? You
Yeah.
can do something like you'd say fast forward silences, and I could say anything, it usually starts at 0. I could say anything like less than 5 seconds. Okay. Don't remove, but I want you to speed it up by 3x and don't mute it. So now when you come back up here, all your silences are you're not going to see it in preview, but it's at these will all be sped up by 3x, 4x, 2x, whatever you assign right here. You still see the action, but just 2 times faster.
I have a question about that. Is there a way, or maybe in the future, how do you say, pinpoint where you would want these, for example, fast forward silences, and not necessarily all of them, but just in a specific area?
100%. But that's exactly what I do. Okay. Like I never do like blanket. You just keep that at 0. Okay. All you do, this is the only time now that you're not using a quick key. You just turn it to orange. This will speed it all up.
It's cycled essentially, orange, green, red, if your fast forward is on.
If you click this bar above the playhead, you can speed up like words too, like any scene. If you're doing a disclaimer,
The orange is going to
Sped
be
up.
sped up from the settings that you put down. So that's actually everything I wanted to know. All right, perfect.
and I just wanted to get that because fast forward silences plays a big role at both, and I would imagine with Twitch video and work, right? Where you like mouse clicks matter, direction, but it's just a quick way to automate that. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Is there any additional questions?
Yeah,
that we can-
I wanted to show him where the shortcut keys are. He knows them.
Oh, yes, actually, that would be quite important.
Right here.
There's a button on the.
Oh,
It's keyboard
perfect.
shortcuts.
So you'll just find all the keyboard shortcuts that he can use.
Your punch values, like I would just go ahead and click around here. Like your punch values, you're not gonna need to worry about any of this, but your punch values, if you're a talking head video, sometimes like this tells you how much you punch in. I could say, I want to punch in at 110, 125, and 175, right? So now when I go here and I hit the P key, right, you see that it's changing the value right here. Let's say that was too much of a punch for my talking head. I would just come down here and say, okay, I want this at like 120 and put this at like 140, right? Done. So now when you do this again, it changes your default punch values. Keyboard shortcuts, settings, that's about all I use settings for, and then your screen recorder.
And the punch for horizontal, do you guys use it for horizontal as well, or is it just strictly
both.
vertical?
Both.
And when you use it for horizontal, I forgot when you demonstrated earlier, is it just
Focus.
smack on the center?
No, you can focus it.
You can, okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, see
But
how
if-
it's going top left, bottom
Yeah.
left? And this is what it looks like.
I think it's
okay.
better if you show it to him on
Horizontal.
No, I get it. No, it's pretty
Awesome.
amazing. Well, guys, that was back to the information. I know how to use it a lot better now. Thank you.
Excellent. No,
Yes.
it's great. You had thank you for the excellent questions. And that does it for TimeBolt office hours on January 11, 2024. Don't forget to like button, subscribe, and of course, notification bell if we go live. And we're out of time. Thank you very much.
Bye,
Talk to
guys.
you guys.
Nice talking to you.
See y'all.